Welcome to Unnecessary Roughness. You know, I got my man Bernard in the building with me right now.
T on penalty.
Yo,
Automatic first down.
my man ain't been here in a minute. He coming in hot.
Straight like that.
Broncos almost beat the Chiefs yesterday.
Chiefs gonna hit that wall. Mahomes gonna hit that wall.
Son, first of all,
I give him till week 8.
son, this is the same shit with the Chiefs every year, son.
Nah, he a different vibe though. He not the same. He different from Alex Smith.
He
Not
different,
that
but
Alex Smith is bad, but
Alex Smith was an MVP candidate the same way Mahomes is an MVP candidate
you
through.
realize every time Alex Smith goes off for a team, they replace him.
Yeah,
He better off being okay.
Son, Alex Smith. How is Washington even doing this year? I ain't even hear about them.
Nah, they said everybody in the NFC East got 2 wins.
Did they play last week? They played last week? No, probably not. Cause I ain't hear about nothing from Norman. What's the other guy they got? Not Alex Smith, the running back.
Who was they running back?
That's not Jordan.
They had Adrian Peterson.
Oh yeah.
He was killing. He killed the first week.
Yeah, I know 1 week he went off, but I ain't hear about them too much. But the Chiefs, I feel like, son, it's the same old Chiefs story from every single year. Something inappropriate on my phone just popped up.
The Chiefs is the Chiefs. They good for football in the sense that like the Bucks is good for basketball. Like they're always gonna oppose a great team in a way where it's like you can't sleep on them. Like 1 year it seemed like they could really pop up and do it all, but at some point in every season something happens or they just fall back. Maybe that won't happen this year, but I don't
know.
Because like the Patriots are not as scary. Like this is one of them years. Like I said, it's kind of flux. It's weird. Like you can't really point out a champion. Like every year you could kind of expect a champion. It's like Patriots gonna be in it.
I fully expected the Rams to be Super Bowl champions at the beginning of the season, and I still feel that way.
Yeah,
because they
got
just
a full team that
they had a great ass offseason. First of all, like you didn't lose Aaron Donald, and then you signed Ndamukong Suh on top of that.
Yeah.
Plus Peters.
Yeah, they built a team.
Yeah,
like,
they built a squad.
And it seemed like all the years they was losing, and it seemed like it was okay because they actually knew what they was doing in the draft. A lot of times, a lot of their trades, a lot of just things they did built the team they got now. Even if it's for 1 or 2 years, it seemed like the Rams was gonna be a problem for a little while. Like
I feel like they tried to do what Rex Ryan tried to do the first year he was on the Jets, where he tried to sign just mad big name guys for the bare minimum. That was like toward the end, not toward the end, but like, they wasn't in a prom no more. Like when he signed Jason Taylor, Bart Scott, Braylon Edwards, like all those guys.
That was when they was actually good that year.
Yeah, they was
That's
good.
when they was that when they beat the Colts?
Yeah, they went to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row.
They beat the Colts. Yeah,
2 years, and then they had LaDainian Thomas. I feel like that's what they did. They was like, all right, we gonna go sign mad big name guys. And then create a powerhouse team.
Like I genuinely think like as certain football teams, it's like if you can't get it done in the draft, what they should do is sign a lot of players who are exciting, quote unquote exciting to watch and decent players for 1 or 2 years. Make your team somewhere where them guys that coming off their contracts might look at. Like it makes more sense like that to me. Like you sitting here, you trying to build the team, y'all losing every year. So it's like, I'm Antonio Brown. I get out my contract. I'm not even looking at y'all. Y'all won 4 games the last 12 years. Like I'm trying to go win a ring.
I don't even remember the last time the Chiefs won a playoff game, and like they had teams, like teams, like like they had. First of all, they
had like teams that people thought could upset and win the championship.
Rob's in the building.
A few years.
I came in,
but it's just all about how you build it up, and I feel like the Rams just kind of took their time with it. And then they filled in the pieces they needed to fill in. So now they looking real good, barring any injuries or something crazy like that set them back. They look real good, but to me, this year is just one of them years of football where it's like you don't know who's going to be champion. Like, it's not like, the Pats got it. Like, it's not.
Pats
the Eagles,
might not
even
make
the
the
Eagles
playoffs.
is like.
well, I would never bet against the Patriots not making the playoffs until they don't make the playoffs.
No, not the playoffs. I'm talking about championship.
Isn't that always the same thing in the NFL? Like think about it. Who. Like last year's a perfect
No.
example. Nobody picked the Eagles to win the
No.
championship. other
But you
than
know what I'm
diehard
saying?
Eagles
Like,
fans.
when you step into a season, usually you got that team gonna be there. Like,
Who
it's
was that
clear
last year?
cut. The Patriots.
I-
Everybody and their mother
they're
knew
gonna
the Patriots.
they're gonna be there this year too.
Then
You
in
talking
the
about in the
championship?
Super Bowl?
Yeah, the
I don't
Super
know
Bowl,
about
yeah.
that.
That's what I'm
But
saying. Like, you
They have the easiest path.
You
They
just
win the
wanted to
division.
see, like you said, you got these teams that when you walk into the season, you just want to see somebody beat them. Like,
That's
because
true.
it just seems like they're going to moonwalk through the season, and then they might slip up in the playoffs. Like, every team has a chance to slip up in the playoffs.
Yeah,
But
that's a fact.
this year, it's no clear-cut team that you're looking at. It's like, yeah, they might moonwalk through the season. The Rams look like the ones that's doing it now. But you can't say going into the offseason, oh, I thought the Rams was going to kill this year. Like,
Well, they were one of the favorites.
yeah, but you who believes it just because they're one of the favorites? Like,
Well, no, because there's always a surprise team that shows up. You get what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
last year was the Eagles. Nobody picked. They picked them to be last in the division, right?
Right.
This year, it looks like the Rams are going off on a crazy start. I'm trying to think of a surprise team we didn't see. It could have been Miami, but they just got shellacked by the Patriots. So it's
I
probably
never
not
believed in Miami.
it could have been though.
You-
It could've
you-
been.
you don't
Nobody
believe-
believes.
and
in
that's
them.
my thing. You don't believe in these teams till you believe in them. Till
Mm-hmm.
they do something to show you the, like even the Rams. Like, all right, they 4-0. Let me know when they got 8 wins in the first 12, 13,
I'll hit you back
12,
up in 4 weeks.
12, 11 games. Yeah, like
they gonna have 8
if
wins
they
in
got
4
8 wins in
That's-
8 weeks, then
that's-
it's like, all right, they serious.
That's
you know
how
what
I
I'm
feel about the Chiefs. It's like every year they start off hot. Every year they start off.
There's
But
a
If I
difference.
could look back,
You know what it
they
is?
probably started 3-0 the past 3 years.
You know what it is? You know what I'm kind of saying?
Facts.
All right, and in the last couple years, there's always been a team that was fed. Like whether it's the Patriots, for them few years it was the
The Seahawks, Legion of Boom.
Then you
yeah.
had the Broncos somewhere mixed in. You had the Panthers that year. You had it was always a team that when they stepped on the field, you just betting against them. You was just going for it for the long shot. Like
right.
you just wanted the money. Like
Yeah.
you wanted the hope that the other team could beat
And
them.
that's me. I'm
Yeah,
the
you want the
one.
long shot. Like it don't really make sense betting the other way, but.
No, zero.
It was that kind of team. Now this year, the Rams are becoming that team this season, but I still don't be like, all right, I wouldn't bet against the Rams. If they go up against the right team for me, I'm betting against them.
Yeah.
The
And I
Vikings
don't-
wanted that right team.
I don't like Kirk Cousins, so
Yeah, I don't believe
I
in
don't
him.
like him as a quarterback. He don't seem like he's like, even though they say, oh, Case Keenum got carried,
He did.
it don't seem like Kirk Cousins is gonna allow
If
himself to be
Case
carried.
Keenum
as far
got
as
carried,
Case
then what
Keenum
is
did.
Blake Bortles
No.
getting?
What do you
Blake Bortles, he played well the past 2 games, but it's like, come on, man.
mean? The
But Blake-
Titans game was he didn't play well the Titans game.
But you gotta
No, the first
understand,
2 games.
They've built that team around.
Did he really play well against the Giants too?
They
You
He
know
played
what
well against us.
They built that team.
One team. You know what I mean?
he
That's
tor-
why I don't
he
trust
tor-
Blake Bortles.
He freaking torched us.
They built that team around Blake Bortles the way
They
the,
should.
the Broncos built that
Around-
team
around
around Peyton
Peyton
Manning
Manning.
when he couldn't throw no more. It's like
But there was a difference though. Peyton Manning was getting paid already. They chose to extend Blake Bortles this, and he didn't get big quarterback money, but they could have gotten a rookie. Let's say they could have moved up for.
Yeah.
They could have got Lamar Jackson.
but you gotta
without
understand.
moving up.
You gotta understand though. All in all, they felt like they should have won the AFC Championship game.
They should.
Yeah, they felt like they got cheated.
So
Well, they didn't get
if
cheated,
you
they
think
just
you
fell
did
apart.
good enough to get to the Super Bowl and you could pay this guy for however many years cheap money and build the rest of your team up, and you think he can be quality enough to get you there,
Mhm.
and their defense could possibly win you the championship, that's not a big roll of the dice. You're not sacrificing a lot. Like, it wasn't going to get the great quarterback in the drive.
They could have got Lamar Jackson.
He's
I
not.
don't know.
I don't think he's going to be great.
He's probably better than Blake Bortles.
Who,
don't
Lamar
know.
Jackson?
Yeah.
I don't know, because them athletic and college quarterbacks don't really.
But
Deshaun
pair him
Watson
with
worked
a
out.
Fournette or
I understand,
or
but it's
T.J.
just
Yeldon now.
it's
since Fournette's
just
hurt.
watching him. I didn't get the fact that he was gonna be like, come on, Blake
Better than
Bortles.
Blake?
Nah,
Blake
I just don't know. Like,
Out of
I really don't
The 32
know.
quarterbacks. Where do you rank Blake Bortles?
He's
Around 20 to 24.
Around 20, yeah.
Or 20 to 23.
2023, right?
Nah,
You
I
don't-
would say 18 to 20. I'm not going.
All right, let's say 18
Yeah.
for argument's sake. The money you saved by sticking Lamar Jackson in there, you could have played bet on another defensive player or another offensive lineman or something like that.
Yeah, but what
Wouldn't it
happened?
be better?
But
That
what
way?
happened if Lamar Jackson busts?
You take the chance.
you take the chance, but then you also take the chance of falling back out of the playoffs.
But Blake Bortles also has a chance to bust. Like, he didn't do well against the Giants. He did well against the Patriots, but then
But
he
you got to
put up a
think it's
stinker against the
familiarity.
Titans.
You got to think they went with familiarity over. It's like, all right, Blake
He's streaky. He's
Blake
streaky.
Bortles is gonna get us. He's gonna be great. He's gonna be good enough in, let's say, 8 out of 16 games to win them games with the offense. The defense is good enough to pick up another 5.
Yeah.
So you figuring, all right, I could take this guy that's going to get me, we're going to get around the 12, 13 game mark. Our defense was always going to be a problem for whoever. And we got Leonard Fournette literally playing safety net for him because Leonard Fournette is great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right,
When
I
he's
could
healthy.
take the familiarity and the ability to feel like, all right, I could get to the playoffs and possibly win the championship with this guy rather than possibly let him go, get a Lamar Jackson, and he sucks. Now we back out of the playoffs.
But Blake Bortles also has that chance to suck.
He do, but
He does for the most part.
But it's the familiarity of it.
I don't like
the Blake Bortles sucking. Is not. They don't believe he can suck bad enough to offset how great the defense is.
I don't like how I don't
Lamar
like
Jackson,
game managers.
You don't know. He could step in there. He could be not NFL ready. You could throw somebody in there who's just scared, dead headlights. Boom, 4 games you own 4, like because of mistakes he made, you can't come back from. Blake Bortles is gonna make his mistakes, but he's also gonna complete some passes. He's also gonna get you down the field sometimes. He's not the greatest, but that's why you got the running back and Fournette. But
Not even close.
but it's like I would not have given up Blake Bortles for a shot out of Lamar Jackson. Now Sam Darnold or somebody at the top.
They wasn't getting him.
Exactly. But I'm saying that's what a situation where I was like, all right, these guys might turn into something great. I could let him go with the option. But I'm not doing that for Lamar Jackson.
And also, did he really play well in the Jets game? Didn't he throw like 3 picks?
No, Blake
Blake
Bortles torched us.
No, because I could have sworn y'all won the turnover battle.
He might have, but
But with a guy like that and a defense like that, it's hard to really. You're gonna say he's not great because he throws interceptions.
game managers.
But if
Well,
my
no, that's
defense,
not it.
I'm saying, but if my defense is able to grab each of those, none of those interceptions going to points. What's
managers,
the pain? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
managers
It's
only
basically
work
a punt.
in managers only work in baseball.
Wow.
Game managing quarterbacks, except for Peyton Manning, usually don't pan out for
Trent
people.
Dilfer.
A lot of them make it to the. They
Rex
don't win the
Grossman did.
championship.
I wouldn't
I
really
don't-
call him
I-
a game manager.
I
would call
personally-
him,
Rex Grossman was definitely a game man.
no, see, game manager to me.
Is when you just
He
they
don't
just
throw
ask
the
you to
ball.
hold on to
He's
the
not
ball.
good at throwing
Yeah,
the
and I feel
ball
like
more
Rex
than
Grossman
20
didn't do that.
yards.
Rex Grossman always threw picks, and he just
Well, they wanted
happened.
him to be.
Blake
defense-
Bortles throws a lot of picks too. It's just the
That's
thing
why I
is
wouldn't call him a game manager.
that
It's when the team, it's the way the
he
team
manages
go.
to throw a lot
like
of picks.
If you really could destroy a team's chemistry by moving out one guy like that, like
No, I understand.
you
that.
could really split a locker room. Oh, Blake got us there. Blake got us there. Why would they treat him like that?
They like.
You know how they say.
Yeah, like
You know how they.
people on the team like Blake.
You know how people.
Only people you don't hear that criticism from inside the locker room. So you risk destroying all of that because now you got the Blake guys and the guys who's like, yeah, we could use a new quarterback.
That's true.
You know
So
how.
I wouldn't trade that for a chance at a 30-something pick quarterback. Like
You know how
we would have to be
stupid
bringing
NBA
somebody-
fans.
Makes sense.
better than Blake. And
Stupid NBA.
definitely better than Blake.
You know how stupid NBA fans always say that the Warriors hired Steph on defense, or like
Yeah.
because he can't play, even though that shit is just not true. That's basically what the Jaguars hired Blake Bortles
Only
on
time that come up
offense.
is when he playing against Irvin. Like
Mm.
that's literally the only time people say that they hide stuff.
How can a guy that led the league in steals be a bad defender?
It's the same people that LeBron never led the league in steals, yet he's still the GOAT. You know, you get what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but I feel like
He's
the
the GOAT,
Jaguars
but
the
he
Jaguars hired Blake
I knew
Bortles.
somebody was going. I didn't think you would.
What
That-
happened?
That was one, he said he's not the GOAT because he never led the league.
Yeah, like
He
that.
never led the league. He only led the league in one category once.
Yeah.
GOATs lead the league in multiple categories multiple times. So that's what I'm saying.
That's opinionated, but okay.
Everything's
That'll take that
Except
as your
this.
opinion.
First of all,
LeBron's not out.
LeBron not leading the stat is not an opinion. It's a fact.
LeBron, no, I'm talking about the fact that you have to lead a stat every season to be a
Not.
GOAT.
See, I didn't say that.
No, you said they lead the league in multiple stats. Like,
Yeah, multiple times.
that's not necessarily that. I mean, that don't take away from it. All right, we're not doing this. This is football.
They hired him on offense because it's like when you have Fournette, and
That's
even
what you got to do.
and
though.
even when
That's what a
Fournette
great
is
team does.
Fournette is injured a lot. I noticed.
You
Like,
see,
that's like-
I disagree with that, Fred, because he was injured all year last season, but he played. He only missed 2 games, and he played better than a lot of other running backs. So him not being healthy isn't a problem. Right
But
now,
he's been
he's
injured
just
twice this year.
well, yeah, that's a problem. But last year, it's like he was injured, but he still played.
They have running backs for days though, because then when their backup Yeldon is good too. That's what I'm saying. When all he needs to do is throw short throws, and use his tight ends, and now they got Safiri and Jenkins, so that's even easier for him now.
Mhm.
So I mean, he don't have to be
Like,
otherworldly.
But if you look at it, all great teams had some type of hole they had to. Like even the Patriots when they was good for a few years, the offensive line wasn't the best.
Still isn't.
They hid that line by having Brady throw a bunch of short, quick routes.
Mhm.
Brady was getting the ball out of his hand in like 2 seconds. Like everything was quick, getting it, and they were still getting it done.
Like it's hard to cover the QB hole though. Like you're gonna say the Broncos covered it, but they had Peyton, and Peyton was like, let's be honest, his last year he was probably like the 15th best quarterback, and is that really a hole? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I mean, every team, but I feel like every team
Like
has holes. Holes
Hole
exist.
is basically a
Holes
weakness that if
exist.
you don't cover it up right, it could cost you every
and
game.
QB
Like-
is the hardest to cover.
like
yeah.
I don't
like-
think it's possible. I don't
like
think you
Dak
can.
Prescott-
Broncos, I
like
say
when-
Peyton
See, you
Manning
said, but
a
he was
hole.
like 15th.
Like when
You know
Dak
what I mean?
Prescott was supposed to
Like
be.
at the time, he was like the 15th best quarterback.
Peyton when he
I
was
think
bad
so.
that
Yeah.
year.
Like he was bad, but was he
He
bad
wasn't throwing touchdowns. Like he literally
when he was injured?
Yeah, like
But when he came back, he was throwing touchdowns when it was time to throw touchdowns.
yeah, like he was a game manager. But
So
I guess I can see what you're saying because it's kind of like you
It's
expect
like
something
Dak
from Peyton,
Prescott. It's like
and
Dak
you would call
Prescott,
it a hole
son.
because he's not himself.
It's the same Dak Prescott situation when people was saying he's playing like Donovan McNabb in his prime.
mhm.
When he had Ezekiel Elliott the first year, and then he had replaced Romo, and he was the second
that's
coming.
another thing
They was
football.
ready to build a statue for him,
Yeah,
and then when he lost Ezekiel Elliott for them
Jason
4
Witten
games
going
last
like-
year,
People
got-
are prisoners of the moment.
he
bro.
got exposed.
yeah, that's the thing. Like
He-
everybody,
He's just the make
they
America
quick to
great
gas
He's
up
just
a
the make
situation.
America great again version of Mark Sanchez.
He's,
That's what he is.
Like
he's
people
MAGA
quick to
he's
gas
MAGA
up a
Mark.
situation, and that's a problem too. Like a guy goes on a stretch for 3 or 4 games, and it's like, pay this man. He's the reason why, and it's like, nah, you got a whole team.
you saw
doing
what
it.
Sam Darnold did week 1, and then
Yeah.
everybody was just killing the Giants for not grabbing him.
That wasn't
Um,
it wasn't even
Nah,
Darnold the
I
first
don't see
week.
how
It
people
was
could be
the
mad at the
defense.
Giants.
That was
for
1
grabbing
week.
Saquon.
Nah, they've been saying that. And
Saquon.
Saquon Barkley's
Darnold's
one
good.
of the best. He is, but Saquon Barkley's one of the best running backs right now.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
he stepped
and
in the game.
And
as
then
one
look
of the
how he
top.
started. Look at the difference in how Saquon started and how Darnold started. When he averaged with like 2.8 yards per carry the first week.
Nah,
And
he
it-
did real good the first week.
Or it was 1 week where he was averaging like 2.8 yards a carry.
The Cowboys week when he broke a franchise record of receptions.
Yeah,
running
that
back.
was the week when he had mad receptions and people was like, "Oh, but he only averaged 2.8 yards a carry. He bust."
Yeah, it's always gonna be naysayers.
Really, out of the
Every
two
side
guys
of-
on your team,
no
between
matter
Eric
what
Flowers
you
and
do,
Saquon Barkley,
Yeah,
that's who you
no
call the
matter
bust.
no matter what you do, there's gonna be some naysayers that's waiting for their opportunity to say something is not right. That's why I don't really pay no attention. My eye test is the one I go with. Because a lot of
But
people who talk don't know what they talking about.
some
anyway.
people wear glasses, man. You can't always go by the eye test.
Yeah, that's what I'm. But I'm saying I personally go with my eye test, not everybody else's.
Yeah.
Like I watch and I come up with my own assumptions and
Mhm.
situations and things that I see and I get from the games. I don't sit here and listen to the next person talk and then be on some shit. Like I mean,
Except me, right?
Yeah, like I listen to y'all opinions, but it don't shape mine.
Right.
Nah,
Mine's just mine before I bring it here. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Like I
But-
get like y'all's might make me like I ain't pay that no attention, but it's
Never.
not. It's not like I'm building mine off yours. Like
No.
nah, I'm not plagiarizing work.
all I do is plagiarize. Now, just
That
wanted to
was
the one thing
junior
about
high.
the Jaguars. People say, and maybe it is right to say that Blake Bortles almost got him to the Super Bowl. I honestly think, and this is probably the pessimist in me, they didn't get to the Super Bowl because of him.
Yeah, like you could say that. You
Yeah.
could always say that, but you just got to go with the results, and the results is where did they get to with the team that they had. Now you risk
Quarter away.
destroying that You risk destroying that when you could just hope he has a better quarter.
Yeah.
Like, which one is more realistic? You think Lamar Jackson gonna walk in and be Tom Brady, or,
No.
or Michael Vick or Donovan McNabb?
Michael Vick maybe.
Or one, late Michael Vick. Not like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gonna risk
Jets
the whole
Vick.
when you think you could literally put it on either. And it's not even just him. You could be like, yo, my defense could possibly save me in this situation.
What if he becomes a Matt? He doesn't have to be Tom Brady. What if he becomes a Matt Stafford or something like that?
Who, Lamar Jackson?
Pat Stafford?
I just don't.
Pat Stafford with
My
the
thing is,
Giant
right?
with the Jaguars team.
My thing is, right, to be honest with you, I just don't see none of that. Like, I don't see him
That's
being
what
a
I'm
great
saying. I don't
quarterback.
see
I mean,
the
he
hype.
can be. We don't know.
He
Can
can
be, but why
But
hasn't
I've
he done it
seen
yet?
Blake Bortles play, and I've seen what he brings to the table, and I'm not very. you
But
know,
I'm just saying, I'm not willing to risk my team for what I've seen from Lamar Jackson.
I understand.
Would you
Like
pick
I
him?
would, like that's like for instance, the people like if he would have dropped to the second round, people say, "Oh, they should have drafted him and let Eli mold him." No, I wouldn't want him as my starting quarterback ever. Like I would,
I don't
unless
want
I'm
a
a
game
situation
manager
where
as my
I
starter.
do not have a quarterback. I
Exactly.
don't want Lamar Jackson when I feel like I could do something else and get a better,
He's a crisis
better
quarterback.
successor or a better starting quarterback. He would have to show me something in the league already. I wouldn't risk anything.
Well, this
on.
isn't the Lamar Jackson. It's not. I'm not dead set on Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying.
No, that was just
Not Blake
one that was
Bortles.
said. Yeah, I understand that, but not Blake Bortles at what cost? Like, for me,
They
it got to
paid
be
Blake
better.
Bortles.
It got to be better.
Case Keenum was better. Kirk Cousins was way out of their price range, but
That's what I'm saying, and that's also something that I think they was doing too. Like, you could get them on a.
I never
discount
thought I'd hear
pretty
those
much.
words.
what?
That Case Keenum was out of somebody's price range.
No, I
he
said Kirk Cousins.
Oh,
Nah, but I think it was just the fact that we did what we
Still.
did, and we were able to keep him without making him the highest paid quarterback. Because it seemed like that's literally what everybody's doing. When quarterback contracts up, they're becoming the highest paid quarterback. Like,
That's how the market works.
yeah, so they was able to keep their quarterback in their situation that got them to the AFC Championship without doing it. So it's kind of like I saved money. I got the familiarity and the team. I know we made it to the AFC Championship. No, probably in the AFC South, we're going to be the best team in the South for probably another 2-3 years. The way
I
it
mean,
looks.
between them and the Titans, the
Yeah.
Titans don't sleep
Yeah,
on
but
them.
I'm saying they're going to be a wild card or AFC South champion the next 2 to 3 years. So it's like we got time to build. And then if that quarterback that's really clearly better than Blake Bortles shows up, I'm pretty sure they'll go get him. But why drop back into mediocrity if you wasn't there before? You guessing. Like,
yeah, that's
why
true.
not wait till somebody like anybody who you would consider better than Blake Bortles comes free and it's like, all right, let's pay him.
Pretty much anybody but
Let's
Nathan
give him
Peterman.
money.
There was a lot of people better than Blake.
Yeah,
Bortles.
but
That was
honestly, I'm not gonna say
That's
Case
it.
Keenum.
I just
wouldn't-
wouldn't pick.
wouldn't-
I'd
I
pick
wouldn't-
pretty
Case
much
Keenum-
anybody but
Case
Nathan
Keenum
Peterman.
had one season.
Blake Bortles had one season.
The Blake Bortles.
One okay season and then trash seasons ever since he got into the league.
But I'm just saying, so you would have risked that on a Case Keenum who could possibly have the same stats. When
I
he gets there.
personally think Blake Bortles was the problem.
I mean, yeah. So
That's fair.
So I would have.
It definitely wasn't
tried
the
to make
defense.
move.
Oh, see, because when I look
Fournette
at that
had
team,
2 touchdowns that game. Like it couldn't.
when I look at that team, I don't really see him as the problem. I think he could get better. Like
Yeah, maybe.
I don't, because like he's had the big games, the wild big throwing mad touchdowns. He's had those, so it's like it's just
He also had
focus.
the giveaways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was a fan of a guy who threw 6 picks in a playoff game. So
Then they lose.
yeah, they lost. So you gotta understand, like I don't weigh that against you to the point where it's like that man turned around and won championship. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
That
a
man got
difference
smoked
between
by
Peyton and Blake.
that man got smoked by it. Yeah.
Steelers almost
But
came back
Peyton
and
is
beat them first
one of the
all.
greatest QBs to ever play. Blake Bortles is.
But I'm just saying, like
Break Blake Bortles.
the
That's
stuff
all
that
he
would
is.
break a quarter. The way I look at a quarterback for me is, it would have broke me for Peyton Manning too, because he had a lot of games where he threw 4 and 5 picks, 6 picks.
But, yeah, and I understand there was a stretch where he just couldn't get past the first round. But Peyton showed me during the regular season that
He was one of the best.
it's one of the it had to be a mental thing where he just couldn't get past the first round or something like that.
Yeah.
We can fix that. It's the ability part where we can't fix ability.
But
That's
if
just
it's just pick throwing, because he's shown he can make the throws.
He
It's
can.
not like he hasn't made the throws in certain instances. So it's just got to be some sort of focus or due diligence with your studying for the games. But that's all interchangeable, and that must be what the Jaguars feel like.
Yeah, no, they signed him for a reason.
Yeah, they don't think that it's some unfixable thing with Bortles. Like,
I don't think they got better. They
No,
look
they
like
didn't.
the same team from last year, and that team didn't make it. Now, granted, the Patriots look worse, the Steelers look worse, but the Chiefs look better. Who else in the AFC look better?
Everybody.
No, that's not true.
but the Chiefs,
The Titans look better in their own division.
like I was saying with the Chiefs,
Don't
though,
let the
that
Texans.
brick wall gonna hit them.
hang
Chargers
out.
look good
They
too.
gonna hit that. Mahomes gonna hit that wall. They not doing it this year.
I don't know.
Let me
Mahomes-
tell you something.
Mahomes is Showtime right now.
Yeah, just like Brian Fitzpatrick was the last 3 weeks before this.
I tried to warn people.
He
I
doesn't
tried.
count.
I tried to
Yes,
warn
he does.
people.
We've seen that. We've seen that the cycle. He went to
I
Harvard because he
tried
knows to be
warn-
good for 3 games and then to suck, get a new contract, and then start sucking again.
I tried to warn people about the Fitzmagic, and it wore off sooner than I thought.
I hate when people say that and say that.
It wore off
Ryan
like Michael
Fitzpatrick
Secret
was
stuff.
good that whole season with the Jets.
He was.
Where they got them? Where they got them?
They lost that one
He
game.
money
Because
on
of him.
money on the table. He threw 3 picks in that game. Money on the table.
Son, and all 3 of them picks was not his fault.
Brandon Marshall
He
never
threw
made
a
the
pick.
playoffs.
He